Hello and welcome to episode 213 of my podcast all about knitting and crochet in my yarn shop here in Wiesbaden, Germany. I'm Kiko and today is December 18th, 2023. And today I'm wearing two fairly old things. The shawl I'm wearing is called the In Dreams shawl, and it was a mystery knit along when I did it. It was one of the first mystery knit alongs I ever did. And this is one of the projects where I think it's a good thing it was a mystery. So I didn't know beforehand what I was going to knit. I might have been overwhelmed by seeing this project the way it looks when it's finished. I knew the pattern says we needed 5,000 beads. But still, if you only get a little bit of pattern at a time, it always seems manageable. So it started off at the top with this beautiful flower and then quite a few beads, and then the next bit had these leaves and then lots and lots and lots of beads. If I were to knit this again, and I might do it one day, I probably wouldn't do these big swatches of beads, even though it looks beautiful. I love the shawl, don't get me wrong. It's part of the Lord of the Rings series by Susan Pandorf. I think it was the kickoff to the second part, the Two Towers part. Yeah, so it's really big. I used Regia lace yarn, which I think runs 200 meters, 600 meters on 100 grams. Yeah, and then you have more and more leaves down here. And the beads I love the most are the ones that are down here. So they are perfect to give the shawl a bit of weight at the edge of the shawl, and it's just such a nice edging to the shawl. And mine is quite big. Hers looks a lot smaller on her than mine does, but I love it. I love the size, I love the colors, and I do love the beads as well. And it's a good thing if you didn't know beforehand how many beads you were going to put inside. This edge was a knitted on edge, so we did that while we were knitting the shawl, so there's nothing to finish afterwards, and that's very decorative and nice as well, I think. So I'm really happy. And the first couple of years that I had that, oh, by the way, I knitted in 2011, so it already is quite some years old. And the first couple of years I hardly ever wore it, but I'm trying to wear it more often now to not have it be too special. And I've told all my friends that if they have a special occasion that they want to dress up for, they can borrow it from me, and all I ask in exchange is a picture of them wearing it. So far, only one friend has taken me up on that. Her picture is on the Ravelry page if you want to look. Yeah, so this is the In Dreams shawl out of the Two Towers Lord of the Rings series by Susan Pandorf. I love it. And the pullover and skirt I'm wearing, I only wore them once in a episode before, and that was before I did the English videos. So on the English videos, it's actually the first time I'm wearing it. And I am going to step onto my chair to show you the skirt that goes with the pullover. So this is the skirt, very simple, lots of stockinette stitch, a bit of ribbing at the top and some ribbing at the lower edge. And the pattern corresponds with this, I think is the same as up here. And then the other one is a bit different to the patterns in the pullover. And this was a pattern from Wollerödel, the yarn shop I used to work for. And in their knitting magazine, it was a cardigan. It was a short sleeve cardigan. So there are short sleeves. It's just that I'm wearing a black shirt underneath. And but I don't enjoy doing color work back and forth, and back then I had no idea of steeking. I had no idea you could steek things, so it wasn't one of the shop window display pieces that we had to knit, because then we have to knit them exactly the way they are written. But because it was something that I did, that I offered to do, and it was just a sample inside the shop, my boss agreed I could do it as a pullover, so I could knit it in the round and always look on the right side of the pullover. Yeah, really like it. It's a pure wool. It's the Sienna by Wollerödel. It's a pure merino yarn that I love working with. I still have some at home, I think, that I bought back then, and I might use someday. So two fairly old things, but yeah, they sort of stood the test of time, and I still love them a lot. And I'm trying to wear them. I'm trying to wear the shawl more often. I enjoy wearing the pullover and the skirt a lot anyway. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. Then on to finished objects. I have 2 finished objects. So 2 of my Ravelry projects will be sort of closed. I think one I already did, the other I haven't. But the first one, the older project, are the Squiggley Madness sock couple that I managed to finish. So her socks have been finished for a while now, and they look a lot more like the Squiggley Madness pattern is written. So I used 2 contrast colors. I did the picot edge, I did the squiggly stripes on the back of the socks, and I did 2 squiggly stripes on the front of the socks in different colors. The only thing I changed is the front of the sock, because that's supposed to have like a chevron pattern where you can embroider something onto the sock. I didn't want to do that, so I just knit this in repping. But I also did the 2 color toe. So I think it's supposed to be a 3 color toe. I think that's another thing I changed. But at least some of it looks, if you look from behind, it probably looks like the Squiggley Madness socks. For his socks, I changed a lot more. So I didn't do the second contrast color, no picot edging, no squigglies. I just did the contrast color stripe. They're both the same color. Yeah, and I used opal sock yarn from the Rainforest series, and they are both out of the same series. I remember this was the elephant. I forgot what animal this was. But anyway, I can now pack them and send them off as Christmas, as a Christmas present to this couple, and I'm really happy I finished them. Yeah, so that's finished object number 1, and finished object number 2 are the tiny mini swatches I was knitting. And these are the swatches that I had already shown on the podcast at some point. So I kept knitting a few every week in the beginning, but then I didn't knit any for a couple of weeks. So last week I finally sat down and tried and figured out which colors were still missing. And then I did some the first day and then some the next day. And yesterday I realized, the day before yesterday, on Saturday, I realized I can actually finish them. I think the last ones I knit were all the gray ones. I don't know why I didn't do any of the grays before. But now I think, if I haven't overlooked something, these are all the solid color sock yarns that Opal sells. So some of them are colors that they've had for a long time. And then there's some colors that came out as special colors a few years ago. And then at first I was told they are just one-offs and just for the one time. But then they kept repeating them. And they still repeat some of them, but not all of them. So maybe some of the ones that they didn't repeat I don't have in here. But these are all the Opal solid color yarns that I could lay my hands on at the moment. And I am now going to send them off to my old school friend. And he's going to do something with them, examine them, check the colors out, and as he says, play around with them. So no idea what he's doing, but he's going to get them. So 2 finished objects. I only started 1 new project, so I'm heading the right direction to reducing the number of works in progress that I have on Ravelry and that I have to concentrate on. And as I said before, I don't want to get down to just a few, but it'd be nice maybe to have something around 10 to 12. Less than 16 is really nice, would be really nice. Well, let's see if I can manage that. Yeah, so what do I have in progress? I have no sock to show you at the moment. I wanted to cast on a new sock last week, but I didn't. So we'll see when that happens. By the way, I forgot to say at the top of the video that this is the last proper episode for this year. So next week, it'll be Christmas. I'm not going to film an episode. There might be a special video next week. On the German channel, I definitely plan to have another special video with my sister. We've done 3 of those in the past 3 years, but so far we never did them in English. But this year we are going to try. So if it works out, there'll be a special video with my sister next Monday for you to enjoy. And then the next, sorry, was just distracted for a moment. The next proper episode will be next year, which is, I think, January 1st is actually a Monday. So I will start the year off with a podcast episode. Yeah, just to get that out of the way. So no sock, but I will start with my little project with sock yarn, and that's this No Matter What Mystery Gnome by Sarah Shearer. So if you are knitting it and you haven't caught up yet, you may want to look away now, because the first like proper piece that we knit is this one. And he's so adorable. I think I love it. I should have done some embroidery here. I still haven't done that. I still plan on doing that, but I really like the way this looks. And yeah, and then we already did that one, and we already did that one. Oh, that one at the beginning of the knit along. But now we've added this piece. And I think looking at him, it's quite obvious what this is going to be, especially as this piece was supposed to get one like this. That's what I was supposed to knit that yesterday, and I just didn't get round to doing that. And then the other thing I knit yesterday was this. So I think one can get quite a good idea what this is going to be. So yeah, can't wait to get the next bit of pattern. Not showing anything anymore, but I'm really enjoying this knit along a lot, and it's lots of fun guessing what is what, and now starting to see how things come together. It's really exciting and a lot of fun. And the next project is also an Adventy kind of mystery knit along, and that's the Ani and Carlos stocking that I am knitting, and I'm just going to show you it now in case you don't want to look. And so this grows by 6 rounds every day. I'm still practicing holding one yarn in one hand while I do the 2 color rounds, and I think it's quite fun. So I said last time this motif might look nicer in red, but I still like the blue. But I think this motif is just perfect with this blue color, and I think they can be knit in any color. Really like those two, and yeah, have a lot of fun with my big stocking. And the white and the light blue are opal sock yarns. The dark blue is Wollerödel sock yarn. It's all 6-ply, and yeah, really enjoying that. And it's just nice every evening. I sit there, knit my 6 rounds, and enjoy the Advent time. So that's that. Then, I continued knitting on the double face cowl, the Remember cowl by the Sock Competition by Nathan Taylor, and I kept not knitting on it because I wanted to put a different needle in, and then I was about to do that. I realized I had the wrong size. Now I have the right size needle in. I still might put another needle in at some point. Somehow I can't make up my mind which kind of needle I want to use, but the one I have in now is a lot better than the first 2 I had, and I continued knitting on it. And basically this is a black and red double knit cowl. In German, double knit is called double face, which is an English word. So it's quite confusing that is a German expression for double knitting. Anyway, so a lot of it is just knit in one color this side, the other, and the other color the other side. But then the pattern comes in, and these are going to be like flowers. I forgot the English word for the kind of flower that I'm knitting in here. So on the one side you have the black flowers, on the other side the red flowers, and this is going to be one of the bigger flowers, and this and the other one, this one is one of the smaller flowers, and each flower has in the middle of the petal some of the other color. So the black petal has a bit of red inside, and the red flower has a bit of black inside. And with the pattern calls for little nubs or bobbles or something to be knit in there. And with the big flowers, there's supposed to be some reverse stockinette. But I decided to put some beads. And it's not my idea. I saw that with some of the other projects and I really like that. So now I put red beads on the red yarn on this side, and I put some black beads on the black yarn on this side. And at first I was a bit worried these might be too big. So I was looking for black beads in this size and I couldn't find them. So I decided to try if these work. And now I actually prefer these. But I'm not going to change it anymore. So I have the two black beads on this side and the two red ones. They're not very obvious, obviously, as it's the same color as the yarn. But I used some with, I could have used clear red ones, but I used the ones with some silver in it, so it reflects more. Difficult to describe, but yeah, really happy with the way this looks. All the small flowers have two beads in the middle, and then the big flowers have a bigger patch of the other color. And I will probably not put a bead on every of these stitches. I think it would be something between 12 and 15 beads in one spot and on both sides. And I think it's too much. So I'm probably going to do a bead every other stitch. And then the one that doesn't have a bead will get a bead on the other side. That's the theory. We'll see how it comes along, and then we'll see if it works or not. Yeah, so this is the Remember Cowl, my first proper double knit project, and I'm really enjoying it. And the yarn is the Alpaka silk yarn by Hansa Farm, which is so beautiful and it's so soft, and I love working with it and I can't wait to wear it. So yeah, really happy that I've finally got a better needle in and I'm finally knitting on it again. So the two projects that I did not manage to work on last week were the Geogradient shawl by Stephen West. The one day I was thinking of picking it up, I couldn't find it. I couldn't remember where I put it, but it was still in the room that I sort of lived in while I was sick. So it was still up there, but I found it now, but I just didn't find the time to pick up 1,000 stitches. I'll try to do that during the holidays, probably. And the other project I did not crochet on is the summer crochet pullover I'm working on. So I did look at the pattern, and I think last time I worked on it, I told you that I was done with the round bit and I would start the square now, but it's completely wrong. I have to repeat the round pattern twice more before it'll start turning into a square. So there's still a lot to do, and I'll pick it up at some point. But what I did work on is the slip over out of this 8-ply opal sock yarn, which is a very simple pattern that's on a German YouTube channel. And I added in some short rows in the back. They're not part of the pattern. The pattern just calls for some ribbing and some straight knitting until the armhole. And I knit until I finished the first 150 gram ball of yarn, and I tried it on. I put a long cable in. I tried it on. Really happy with the width, with the size. I had been thinking of starting the front and back once I finished the first ball, because I have 2 full balls of yarn, but I think it's still a bit too short, and I have 2 bits of leftover yarn, and the plan now is to put in the leftover yarn now and then start the slit for the armhole once I finish those. But once I've put in the leftover yarns, I'll try it on again and then make a decision then. But I'm really happy about the way this is growing. It's such a simple knit at the moment, just knitting knit stitches round and round, no problems, no need to concentrate. And my next project is actually at the same stage at the moment, and that's the summer pullover I'm knitting. It's the Pica de Reinas pattern, and I'm using this beautiful wool, cotton and silk blend. And I knit the second arm ribbing So I don't know which one was first, which one was second, but I've now finished both the ribbings, and I'm back to using my ball of yarn just from one end, not both ends. And now I can basically just finish off the yarn by knitting straight down. As I said, I will have to see how much yarn I need for a round, so I can start the ribbing, the lower ribbing, when I still have enough yarn. This also has some short row shaping underneath the pattern, so you can see the back is already quite a bit longer than the front. And this also, I don't remember trying it on after I finished the second ribbing, but I will do that I will try and get a picture that I can put on my Ravelry page so you can see how this fits. But yeah, another mindless knits is fantastic for this busy time that we have at the moment, to be able just to knit something without having to concentrate. Now, the next pullover that I have on the needles or on the crochet hook is the crochet pullover that I swatched for last week. Last week I told you all about this book. It's Crochet's favorite crochet sweaters, I think is the English version. It's linked underneath the video, and I started the pullover. Haven't done a lot yet, but the beginning was not quite as simple as I thought, because she doesn't start with a crochet chain and then you crochet onto that, which is something I don't really enjoy doing. And she does these something like starting something. So basically what you do is you do the first round of stitches plus the chain at the same time, and it gives a really nice and neat edge, which is something I enjoy. And also you don't have to crochet into the chain, which I find rather not difficult, but a bit of a hassle sometimes. So I've crocheted 3 rounds, not a lot, but at least it's a start. I've marked my raglan increase points, and the beginning and end of round is in the middle of the bag, which I think is quite nice, especially as we are crocheting to and fro. We're not crocheting in the same direction the whole time, which makes more sense with the pattern. But it also means that the colors are not going to go straight, but if there's a color change at some points, like here, so it's by chance that this is the same color here, but usually it'll be different colors when I start and finish a round. And I'm quite happy to have that in the middle of the back, and could have been on the back shoulder as well. Anyway, this is the way it's written. This is the way I'm doing it. The only thing I have a bit of trouble with is the beginning and end of round. That's something that I have trouble with in crochet a lot, and I need to sit down and figure out how many stitches I have in the front and how many stitches I should have in the back. The problem with the pattern is, because it's a fairly simple pattern, it just says work in pattern. It doesn't say do this, do that so many times. So I have to actually take care of it myself to make sure that I have the right number of stitches. And I'm always worried of either losing stitches when I end and begin a round, or increasing the stitches. So that's why I have to find a method or way for myself to figure out how many stitches there should be, so that I am certain that I'm doing the right thing at the end and beginning of round. Yeah, so this is this beautiful opal yarn. It's the same weight yarn as the slip over. So both are going to be really warm winter things, and I'm really looking forward to having them at some point. Yeah, and that already brings me to the knit-alongs, and I continue knitting on the banana sock, something you've heard a lot of times now, but I've almost finished the first banana sock of this pair. I will have then to knit the second sock, and then probably one more pair before I'm done for now. I think I want to add 2 more of those reverse stockinette stripes, and then the toe, so that should work out fairly quickly, and then I can do the second one. This is another fairly mindless knit. It's something I do have to look at every now and then to see if it's knits or pearls, but nothing too complicated. And another fairly mindless knit, and that's the reversible hat I'm knitting. And even though it's not something I enjoy too much at the moment because of the dark color and the endless ribbing. But I do keep knitting on it because I do want to have the hat and I do want to knit the colorful yarn. And it's now big enough to put on my head and to wear it with a little bit of a folded edge. What I want is I want a proper folded edge. And because I want the edge to be black when I wear the colorful side on the outside, I have to knit like twice the length that I want to fold over, and then I will change to the colorful yarn. So I still have like, I think about 7 centimeters to knit in the black, but I'm trying to knit on that during the day as much as I can, especially when I'm not concentrating on this, but I'm distracted either by talking to people or watching something. I will try to knit on this, or in the car, for example. I tried to knit on this a lot, and then still looking forward to getting to the other yarn. Yeah, so this is everything I knit and crocheted last week. As I said, it's the last video of the year. I wish you all good holidays, whatever you are celebrating. If you are celebrating something, I hope you have a good end of year and a good start to the new year. And then, yeah, I'll see you in the next video, beginning of next year. See you then. Bye.